It doesn't happen with shouting. It doesn't begin with insults. It doesn't even start with obvious manipulation.
Life with you was joyless!
Gaslighting begins slowly, in the tiny moments where you start questioning your memory, your feelings, your perception, and, eventually, your reality. It starts with subtle phrases like, "You're overreacting," "You're too sensitive," "That never happened," "You imagined it," "You're remembering it wrong." At first, you brush it off. Maybe they were right. Maybe you did misunderstand. You tell yourself it's just miscommunication, stress, or bad timing. But then it happens again, and again, and again. And suddenly, you're no longer sure if you misremembered or if they're rewriting the events in real time. This is how gaslighting begins. Not with a loud explosion, but with a gradual erosion of your inner truth. Imagine this. You share your feelings honestly because something hurt you. You expected understanding, or at least curiosity. Instead, they turn your feelings into evidence against you. They twist your words. They downplay your emotions. They deny what they clearly said yesterday. They flip the blame so flawlessly that you end up apologizing. And worst of all, you begin believing them. You start thinking, maybe I am dramatic. Maybe I didn't say it clearly. Maybe I am too emotional. This slow internal collapse isn't weakness. It's what happens when someone weaponizes your desire to be fair, rational, and loving. Instead of feeling safe to express, you start rehearsing your feelings in your head. How should I say it? Should I just stay quiet? Will they twist this on me again? And little by little, you stop talking. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you're terrified of their version of the truth becoming more believable than your own. Gaslighting is not a misunderstanding. It is a form of psychological manipulation where someone makes you doubt your perception, memory, or sanity so they can stay in control.
All your best acting is behind you. You're back to being a hack!
It is a power strategy, not an emotional accident. A narcissist uses gaslighting to avoid accountability, maintain superiority, protect their false image, control the narrative, make you easier to manipulate. They don't need you to believe them. They just need you to stop believing yourself. And here's the paradox. The more kind, empathetic, and self-reflective you are, the easier you are to gaslight. Not because you're weak, but because you're willing to self-examine. A narcissist exploits that compassion like currency. Gaslighting is not merely emotional discomfort. It reshapes the way your brain processes truth, memory, and self-trust. Instead of asking, "Is this situation healthy?" you start asking, "Am I the problem?" This leads to deeper psychological shifts. You doubt your perception. You no longer trust what you feel, see, or remember. You internalize blame. Even when you're hurt, you assume you caused it. You disconnect from your emotions because feeling becomes dangerous. You lose confidence in your intuition. You stop acting, speaking, or deciding freely. You seek their approval for your reality. You wait for permission to trust your own mind. Eventually, you start editing yourself just to avoid conflict. You shrink. You over-explain. You question your sanity. You walk on psychological glass. That is not normal. That is not love. That is programmed self-doubt. Even long after the narcissist is gone, the imprint remains. You may find yourself apologizing before you speak, double-checking if your feelings are valid, questioning whether your memories are accurate, over-explaining simple thoughts, feeling guilty for setting boundaries, saying, "Maybe I'm overreacting," too often, feeling uncomfortable when someone validates you, staying silent to keep peace, seeking evidence before trusting your emotions, not because you lack intelligence, but because you were trained to believe your emotions were wrong unless someone else approved them. If you've ever said, "I don't know what's true anymore. I feel crazy. I can't trust myself," that's not insanity. That's the psychological after effect of manipulation. People often ask, "Why didn't I leave sooner? Why didn't I realize what was happening?" Here's the truth. Gaslighting doesn't feel like manipulation. It feels like trying to be understood. You stayed because you wanted clarity, wanted peace, wanted honesty, wanted emotional safety, wanted love to work, wanted to believe the best, wanted to fix what hurt. You didn't stay because you were naive. You stayed because you believed in the relationship harder than they believed in reality. That is not stupidity. That is loyalty. Here's the hidden tragedy. Over time, your nervous system stops asking, "Is this person trustworthy?" and starts asking, "How do I avoid being wrong?" You begin to fear mistakes more than mistreatment. You learn to distrust yourself more than you distrust them. And eventually, you become disconnected from something sacred, your inner truth. Gaslighting doesn't just take confidence, it takes your sense of reality. And once that crumbles, your emotional world becomes negotiable. But hear this clearly. Your memories matter. Your feelings matter. Your truth matters. Your perception is valid. Your experience is real. You do not need someone else to agree with it for it to be true. Escaping gaslighting is not only about getting away from the manipulator, it's about rebuilding your relationship with your own mind. Here's how the restoration begins. 1. Stop debating your reality. Narcissists don't seek truth, they seek victory. 2. Validate your emotional responses. If you felt hurt, that is enough data. 3. Start saying, I remember it differently. You're not arguing, you're reclaiming perception. 4. Document your reality. Journaling is not dramatics, it is psychological grounding. 5. Rebuild your intuition slowly. Trust comes back when you give yourself permission to feel. 6. Use boundaries instead of explanations. Sometimes silence speaks louder than proof. Remember, you are not trying to convince them. You are teaching yourself to trust you again. The real healing journey is not, I need them to admit it. It is, I no longer need their validation to know what is real. Freedom is not when they finally acknowledge what they did. Freedom is when their denial no longer rewrites your truth. And healing doesn't require revenge. It requires self-reunion. When your intuition speaks, listen. When your emotions rise, respect them. When your body reacts, trust it. When your memory surfaces, honor it. Because your inner world is not a courtroom, it is your home. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things. You are not hard to love. You are not crazy. You were psychologically manipulated by someone who feared accountability more than they valued connection. But here is the truth narcissists never want you to realize. Your clarity is power. Your self-trust is liberation. Your truth is enough. Do not let a narcissist convince you that your reality is negotiable. It is not. Your truth survives whether they deny it or not. And there will come a day where you no longer tremble when you speak, where your voice does not shake, and where you no longer need someone else to confirm what you already know. You are not losing your mind, you are finding it again. And this time, no one gets to rewrite your story, but